What is going on? Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Morbius. Happy Tuesday. Another episode of Comic Relief. Y'all already know how we get down here on Tuesdays. We get live and gritty. Tell you like it is in this comic community. And you know what? Let's get into it, man. What is going on? Yes, welcome to Comic Relief. Another great episode 69 of season 2. We are full force. We are moving ahead. And we got the homie he back. Let's bring him in real quick. Big Paul in the building.
What's going on?
Chilling. What's up? Salute to everybody in the building. Happy for everybody hanging out with us, man. Cheers. Let's just get right into it. We do a quick cheers. Salute to everybody. Salute to you guys. Cheers. You already know Paul is with the Stella, and I got that Henny. And let's just get into the chat. We got some people hanging out with us already, which is always great. And of course, as usual, we got the big homie. Where he at? All right, come on now. It's glitching on me. Big Daddy John in the building. What's going on?
What's up, John?
You kind of jumped on me. I was starting up here. Unruly Simeon, what's going on, man? Always the first one on the gun. You know what I mean? Salute to you, brother. And of course, we got Big Sove in the building as usual. What's up, my brother? Always appreciate you seeing you in here. I just chat all over the place. And of course, we got DJ Links. What up, brother? Appreciate you showing up by hanging out with us, man. And we got Coffee and Comics. Frank Castle, what's good, my brother? Appreciate you stopping in. Of course, man. We always love your last time you came on, you was definitely letting it, breaking it down for us, man. And hold on, we got definitely just keeps jumping. All right, we got Fish Scale. What's good, my brother? Appreciate you. Oh, we got another. Yeah, they just coming in one after another. What's good, man? Free Energy, Mr. Doom himself, man. What's good?
From Latveria.
Hell yeah, we got Alex in the building. What's good, my brother? How you doing, man? Oh man, we got everybody hanging out with us today, man. Salute to everybody. Feels good. We back again. It's Tuesday. Today we're gonna definitely be talking about these prices that have dropped. You know what I mean? Who's crying? Who's happy about it? You know what I mean? And we can even touch on why. You know what I mean? These people, some people are happy, some are crying about the prices dropping now in comics. And it's like
crying.
We ain't crying. I saw, people that they were just saying, I like the way they broke it, certain wording down. You know what I mean? Hold on a second. What's good, man? Lord Chuck, what's going on, man? Been a minute.
Cheers, brother.
Doing, brother. Obviously when it comes down to it, we're happy. You know what I mean? Of course, as a collector, you're ecstatic. You're excited that, you finally now attain books that were kind of out of your reach, So I think that, of course, for us, it's just an amazing thing. You know what I mean? Amazing. And then you got a lot of ways of wording things. I noticed, I saw different ways because when I was thinking about this, I was just like, man, how you differentiate between the categories of the people who are either happy or upset, you know what I mean? Because the people who are happy or upset obviously is for a specific reason. Yes, the seller market, you know what I mean? They're not happy. That's what Fish Scale, that's what I was leaning, into these people, the seller market, where you got people who are buyer of comics, per se. They'll say, I'm a buyer of comics. They don't say, I'm a collector of comics or, wording like that, And I think, what's up, Julian? Appreciate you stopping by, man. I just copped the Black Panther Epic Collection 1379, but hey, can't complain. There you go, man.
That's a lot of good reading right there.
Yeah, got some good stuff there. Some huge drops. Hell yeah. But just like anything, real stuff will always go up. So it's a buyer's market right now for sure. Hell yeah. Definitely. Right now we are in our comfort zone. You know what I mean? As a buyer, as a collector, not a buyer, I'm a collector. You know what I mean? I don't consider myself a buyer. I do purchase comics for my collection. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think of a buyer as someone who's buying to sell. You know,
To sell,
they're
right?
not trying to
Exactly.
collect.
You know what I mean? And that goes into that whole thing that I was saying, where it's just a wordplay, you know, on things. Where obviously a collector right now is the person who's happy, and a seller, you know, is really not too happy. Or people who invested just on the basis of money. You have people who picked up books, you know, when they were running high, and the purpose of picking up these books was, you know, as an investment. And now the book dropped, and now they're like, hey, you know what, you know, it shit sucks because I spent such and such amount at this time. But it's like, if you was buying it just for the sake of having your collection, you wouldn't really necessarily look at it that way. It would just be like, damn, I should have waited to buy it. You know, I should have not been so hasty to pick it up, you know, but fuck it. You know, it is what it is. I spent the money, got a great book, you know, fuck. You know, you're not gonna cry about it because you're not thinking about, damn, the money I lost in trying to resell this book, you know. So you don't see it in that way, you know, because regardless, you have the book. So whether it raises or drops in value, it doesn't matter. It's part of the collection. You know what I mean? You're just grateful to have the goddamn book, you know. And I think that's what it's about, you know. I think so. For me, I feel like, yeah, of course, I'm loving it. Pardon me, I'm getting these. Forgot to shut my phone off.
Sound like you got that Kermit the Frog breaking news going on.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I got you. My bad. Let me put the link in the chat for you, anybody who wants to jump on.
Was that Nigel?
Yeah, you saw it. He just hit us up, yo. So yeah, so anybody want to jump on, definitely hit the chat. You know, you're more than welcome to hang out for a bit, talk with us, share your side of it, how you feel about it, what you think on these price drops, which I think is amazing right about now. You know, a whole lot of slab selling for grading costs. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like right now, this is like, for me, like this is just amazing because like I'm looking at slabs that before, you know, because there are a lot of times you see a slab in such a good condition, it shows so well. And you see the raw book in that same condition, for some reason, it's like more expensive than slab. How? I don't know. Shit just happens sometimes.
Because slab guys don't want that kind of like mid, you know, my buddy who sells books, he used to always say that, you know, if he had like an 8.0 slab of a book, he's like, this book is no man's land. Like slab guys want that ultra like high grade shit.
Right.
So like
exactly.
an 8.0, which is good, plenty good enough for me. You probably, you know, it's not really good enough for the slab guy. So it actually is almost cheaper than buying it raw.
Right. It is. And right now I've seen so many slabs that are being put up with books that I'm looking for that I'm like, holy shit. Because first I look for the raw, and then if I can't find a raw, I try to find a slab in that same price range where I'm not hurting myself when I crack the shit, you know? But yeah, man, it's to right now, I think it's been great for guys that's been collecting. I do see a lot of people posting that sell, and they're like, you know, making videos like, God, this shit kind of sucks, and I'm taking hits. You know, I spent invested in, you know, books, and then, you know, now it's like they're so, you know, down that I really can't make the money I thought I was gonna make off of it, and it sucks for them. It really does. Excuse me, it really does. You know, and unfortunately, that's part of this hustle. If you in any hustle, you know, if you want to hustle comics, that comes with that hustle where you're just gonna have to, you know, know when to make that move, you know. And I think that is bringing the brother Desire just rolled in. What up, Nigel?
What's going on?
What's up, Nigel? What's up, brother?
In a minute, you know.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hold on. So yeah, brother. I mean, you're in here. I know. For you to ask, reach out, be like, where the link is, because you got something to say. You know what I'm saying?
Well, actually, you know, it was kind of Nigel that got my train of thought on this topic a little bit to some degree. You know, he sent me a link for an X-Men 1 for sale. You know, me and him, we talk about, I have an X-Men 1, so, you know, we just go back and forth about it. But it kind of blew me away, the price that this one was selling for compared to like I mean, like what, Nigel? It had to be like half, right? I mean, they were up over like 20 G's, like, you know, a year ago or so. So it just was like, wow, man, people who bought it at that price, that's a tough one to take on the chin.
Right, exactly. And he sent me a link also for a Hulk 181, letting me know. And I was like, that's too rich for my blood. Shit is still out of my range. You know what I mean? And it was, again, it was like maybe like a 40-30% difference. Yeah. You know what I mean, on price ranges now that what they were before. But, you know, but Nigel, chime in, brother. What's your take on this whole thing with the price drops? Who's suffering? Who's not?
Yeah, appreciate you having me on the show. Of course, you know what I'm saying. No doubt. And but yeah, so yeah, I've been been looking at the prices too. Everybody's looking at the prices, right? I mean, everything is 50%, 40%, and all that kind of stuff. And the conversations that I've been having, with you guys and other folks in the community is that, I'm just glad that I stuck with my same strategy for collecting. You know what I'm saying? Whereas I didn't chase the FOMO, I didn't chase the prices, I didn't chase any of that. Where I see, hearing people talk about their values of their collection went down 50% and all that. Mine ain't go down like that.
Nah.
Why? Because I've had these books for years. And also, when everybody was looking left, I was looking right. You know what I'm saying? That's as far as buying books to add to my runs. I'm completing the old Flash run right now. As you guys see me on IG, you see the Flash books. You know what I'm saying? And those books ain't nowhere near the prices of a lot of them FOMO books.
And now have you always been a fan of Flash?
Oh yeah, always been a fan, but back in the day they were always really expensive to me, but I couldn't get them. Now I'm in a better position to be able to get them. And when you look at their prices compared to the madness we've seen over the last few years, they're basically like a steal to me. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about comics that that Flash run, for example, has when you look at obviously y'all are raw guys, I'm a slab guy, you know what I'm saying, respect, but when I look at the census count on them Flash books, you talking about 200 in the census, where the FOMO books and all the madness books, you got thousands and thousands of books in there. And so I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. Finally be able to bring those into my collection now. Feel very proud.
That's what's up, man. Like,
that goes hand in hand, I think, though, right? Like the low census numbers, because like I remember back in the day, I bet you if you looked up like an FF5, the census numbers like 5 years ago, 8 years ago, it's probably like relatively low. And now that book kind of blew up, everybody starts subbing them in to get graded. I'm not saying there's a lot of Silver Age Flashes out there, because that is a tough title to kind of locate the early issues. But I bet if they stop blowing up, you watch how many stop getting submitted to get graded. Like they'll start turning up. That's just all the most highest census books are all like Spidey 300. I bet you Hulk 181's up there. It's just once a book becomes like liquid or has like a lot of value, now everybody starts submitting it. So I don't know. I mean, I don't put too much stock in the census like that, but
yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, I mean,
and I think we both did. You will have to admit, though, you said that like you didn't lose because things are going down. Now, I mean, realistically speaking, I don't care what my collection's worth, but whatever it is worth is probably considerably lower than like a year or two ago. You know what I'm saying? Just because.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't really stand by them.
Oh yeah, I mean you can't go by that.
You can't go by them too much, man, because
I've been single-handedly fucking that census up for like 5 years.
That census up.
Hey, man, I've been with y'all at the cons. And
what up, John?
I see what you do at the CGC booth, Morb.
This madman does it in their face.
Oh man, that was fucking beautiful. That day was amazing at Terrific Con. I'm still living that day.
Right, no doubt. So yeah, man. So you got a lot of opportunity out here. To put it simply, you got a lot of that investment money and those folks have pulled out of the market. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's allowed folks like us to go ahead and get these books that we've been wanting for a while, or the complete runs or whatever we wanted, and and some of them are still coming down. You know what I mean?
Definitely,
it's not over yet.
I my thing right now is just that this right here is golden era for us collectors. It's just golden era. I mean, it sucks for people who want to make money off of it, obviously, but for us, who collect books for the sake of collecting, this is perfect, man. Like this is what we've been waiting for the few years now, and it's getting just to get to this. What's up, Albert? To get to this point right now, and I mean, I didn't think it was gonna drop that fast. I thought it was gonna take another like year or so, you know what I mean, for it to hit this point that it's hitting now. And I really hope it continues to drop and then level out, just like it did when it went fucking high, you know what I mean, and then eventually and now it crashed. So I think right now this is just great. You know, if you're looking, you know, for especially for like, I noticed for like a lot of filler stuff, you know what I mean, not just big books, obviously, because big books people still trying to push, you know what I mean, but those like filler books, those like secondary and thirds, you know, that are not really too big, but they're good books. Those are the books that right now are like on fire to pick up because people are sleeping. They're just definitely like, you know what? It's almost like if they're just like butt hurt, that they're just like, you know what? Fuck it. Just take the fucking thing. It's just like, I don't give a fuck it. Just take the shit. You know, I'm, you know, I'm losing so much anyway. Just fucking fuck it.
Well, that's what it is. Money got tight this last, you know, 6 months, 8 months, whatever. So people started cashing out, and now they're selling at a real discount just to get that bread. So, you know, I mean, they're kind of in a tough spot. You know, it's. I mean, me personally, I don't care if you were the type of sucker that paid like some ridiculous price for some book. You know, that's
right. Exactly.
That's between you and
right now, man, to start buying books. If you guys are, I'm like, that's what, you know, right now, that's what I'm on the hunt. You know what I mean? I'm trying to snatch up as many books as possible before the next fucking hype comes and the next inflation. And then
this guy down here has been hunting, man. He's like Craven the Hunter.
Beast mode and shit over
man.
You know? What's up with the? I know Fish. I'm sorry, I just hit this up. A raw, low grade blue chip key doesn't change much in value.
I don't know about that.
CGC, right? No, it's not, man. I
don't know about that.
Yeah, Nigel definitely would know. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I keep an eye on all that stuff. I mean, yeah, there's it's part truth in that, you know, as far as the low grade stuff, because you know, there's still a barrier to entry. You know what I'm saying? There's a barrier to entry. So those lower grades, there's going to be a higher buy-in, generally speaking.
Right.
But those prices have come down too. They just haven't gone down at the same percentages as the higher grade books.
And people usually, if it's a lower grade book like that, I'm not saying I subscribe to this, but they may be more reluctant to drop big cash on a raw low grade book. Whereas if it was like graded 2.5, they'd feel better. So they would pay that extra, I think, you know, just because when it's lower grade, there's more potential for whatever restoration. I mean, well, I want to say something's missing. I mean, I hope you look through the book and would notice like a coupon clipped out or something. I mean, I don't know if dudes know how to like, you count the pages, like check the I mean, all that kind of stuff, or they just whatever CGC, you know, that's just one of them things. I don't know how astute like some comic collectors are trying to buy like old Silver Age books, you know. Yeah, so they may pay extra for a slab.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, talking to you guys here on the, you know, we've talked many times. You know, you guys taught me a lot about how to buy raw books. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that that's a goal of mine is to be a better grader of raw books, because I mean, you're paying a premium for the stupid slab. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just it gets out of control.
Right, and you know, I appreciate it. Thank you for your kind words and stuff. And I think that just comes from just, you know, just putting in that time, you know, of looking at books. You know, when you look at books and you're not looking at the plastic and you're looking actually at the book, it changes everything. It really sharpens your skills on what condition a book is in. I think Sove is also he's a beast with that. You know, I mean, put Sove, you know, with a book, and he could definitely give you a good grade on a book. And, you know, that's just from handling these books. You know, I think people who only look at the grade and look at plastic really get, how can I say, it's like their grading ability gets watered down because it's only now looking at the number, and then the number really doesn't dictate the book because the number that was given originally was by somebody else, and it's like you can't really go off that. You know, once again, we're going off subject. We're going back to slabs. Let's get back. We keep it never.
Well, but in my opinion, it's all is this kind of mentality. You know, the slabs breeds this mentality. That's all.
Right.
It definitely adds fuel to it.
Because you can jump in the game and try to be an investor and really not know shit about books. You're just buying a number, and they got that whole GPA system, a chart. Like you could just be good with math and numbers, and you know what I mean, and jump in.
Yeah.
Right.
People say that's good. That's good to get more people in the hobby, but I don't think people like that are good for the hobby. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I agree. You know what I mean? I definitely agree with that. I really feel like a lot of the stuff that we see in this hobby, in this community and shit, it's really divided into many different facets. Of course, which is normal in society. You're gonna have a lot of different outtakes and outlooks on this, and people are gonna try to like categorize it in their own way. But at the end of the day, it's like there is a dividing line between collector and seller. If you want to really break it down, it's you got a lot of in betweens, but the main category is just either you collect or you sell. In that sense, you know what I mean? Like, of course, you got the different, and the people who collect and buy, and then people who this and people whatever. But I'm just trying to like simplify it. You know what I mean? And I think that a lot of people try to, change that. I think, to justify a lot of stuff. And I think that this right here, what's going on, really shows who's really about, the books. Because if you complain to me about this price drop, then you're not about the books. You know what I mean? It's dead simple. If this shit bothers you, then you're not about the books. That's it. Your bottom, line is the money. Mine is the book, not the money.
Yeah.
So that tells me, that where you stand, and when we talk about, price dropping, if you're like, yo, this is amazing, I can't wait. I'm like, oh, this dude is like full on, he loves his books. This guy's about his books. But if you're complaining about price drops, like you said, Nigel, you're like, yo, people are saying, yo, my collection declined 50%. Like, who the fuck thinks like that, bro? Like my collection, I always look at this shit like a fucking gem. Like there's no way anything's gonna dictate outside money value is gonna tell me my collection is shit. Like, are you fuck? And it's not because of that. It's because of what the investment, the time that was put into it is what makes it valuable. With everybody here, they put in work in their collection. You know what I mean? So that shit is fucking priceless. You know what I mean? You can't tell nobody here their collection is because of these price drops, their collections now have value. But when you're so fucking obsessed with the money, that's how you think. You know what I mean? You're not even looking at them as books. They're just like fucking dollar symbols.
They're just like chips or something.
Yeah, chips, just blue chips. That's all you see. You know what I mean? And that's the fucking crazy shit. Like, it's like, nah, man, that's your desire, should I say? No, you know what I mean? It is to chase the dollar bill. You know what I mean? If this shit is bothering you, if they say, yo, comic books drop and this shit bothers you, then you're not about these books. And I'll tell you in your face, you're not about this. And you can't tell me you are. You like people say, oh, I'm a collector of comic books, and then they bitch. No, you're not. You just buy comic books. You don't collect comic books. You buy comic books. You know what I mean? And that's why I separate it.
So kind of asked $1 million question up here, though. I think like a good.
What do you think is causing the decline?
What do you think is causing the decline?
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. What do you think?
What you got, Nigel?
So let me say, as far as my collection, I want to clarify what I said earlier. As far as my collection not going down. So when I say that, I mean from where I bought in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
So I wasn't doing no dumb stuff, buying stuff, chasing the prices, giant size X-Men going up 5X in a year and a half and all that. Who's doing it? Why am I buying a book like that? You know what I'm saying? It's a dope book. Of course, it's a dope book. But, as far as my buy-in for, what the prices that I got in on them, I'm not down. I'm definitely up. But it doesn't matter. I've been collecting since I was 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? So, so as far as the market is, what's causing the decline, I mean, ultimately it's liquidity, you know what I'm saying? So it's all about what available funds are out there to purchase books. So you talk about, what's going on, Ragin. So
what's up, JD?
So when you talk about liquidity, you're talking about the stock market being down. You're looking at the jobs report that's down, the economy, in the tech sector, tens of thousands of jobs have been wiped out over the last few weeks. You're talking about what is it, crypto, all that stuff going down the tubes. So all that money is not there. You know what I'm saying? And then
what happened to NFTs, bro?
NFTs, right?
Shit.
Right.
That shit got Thanos snapped.
We call that shit.
Yeah,
right.
All of these different digital currencies, all that kind of stuff. I think what crypto represented as much as $800 billion to the economy. And where is it at now? You know what I'm saying? Nowhere near that. So, that along with the jobs and all these other things.
Fitzgerald kind of was saying that, how it's January and he's kind of predicting once those income checks, tax refunds come back, people say, although if you're like me, I mean, I don't get anything back. So I don't make a lot of money either. I don't mean it like in that regard. I'm just saying, I'm just in that like, fuck you bracket. So
me too.
I don't get nothing back.
I'm in that fuck you bracket, but like, no, like that's, that I definitely makes a lot of sense.
It could be a rebound in the spring.
That's where I was coming from. It was an economic thing. You know what I mean? Where how things are going now and the way they started into, just a few months ago coming into this year. I think a lot of that had to play into it. What's up? What's going on? Gore, locally, many books went up in value due to first appearances on screen, and then it leaned strongly towards Marvel books. Many collectors and non-writers into the market here. Yeah, definitely. That was part of like the whole beginning of this whole hype shit where everything started to skyrocket. Where
we to assume then those are the people that kind of paid those like exorbitant prices, and now us real collectors won't pay those prices, so that's why they're dropping. Unless they sell to another. Fake ass investor type.
I wouldn't say that necessarily because I feel like there's always a sucker. You know what I mean? Like there's always a sucker that will pay that price, Paul. Like that's why I feel like, guys like us, but there's not too many guys like us. Or maybe I might be wrong. Maybe there is a lot of guys like us that are like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not going to pay that price. You know what I mean? I'm not going to pay that price. But at the same time, I feel like for every guy like us, there's like two that are going to be like, you know what? I want it because either they're fresh into it, they're starting new, don't know, they got that FOMO fucking hype going. Because I just feel like there's always a sucker. That's my concept. You know what I mean? Like, us, we're going to be like, no, but there's always going to be some fuck that's going to be like, and pay that $2,000 for a fucking $20 book. You know what I mean? Like, there's always that guy or girl, whatever. And I think a lot of it has to do with where we are economically. You know what I mean? And what there's always okay, you can't find it.
It's like musical chairs. Someone's gonna get left
shots, bro.
Bag,
Wait, shots fired, homie. Look in the mirror. Shit. Nigga. I look at the mirror, I see a champ, nigga. Look out of here. What's wrong with you, John? Trying to take a shot, bro?
No.
Shit.
Well,
I'm a king.
You can't eat on the show.
What's wrong with you?
So basically with the comment about tax returns coming in and stuff like that, that probably there's probably gonna be
you're gonna see people splurging.
You see that in electronic stores and Amazon, and they always report results like that. You know what I'm saying? As far as the income tax return boost. But then what's going to happen after that? You know what I'm saying? And then we go through the summer and then the winter. So I think this whole year is a good time to buy, and even towards the holiday season, the upcoming holiday season later in the year, because then that's going to be even more depressed. So but you can't really. No one can time the bottom of anything. You know what I'm saying? Only one person buys the lowest price of something. So I would also say people don't wait. Don't sit there and be waiting, thinking it's going to continue to go down an additional 50% and all that. That ain't going to happen.
No, I don't see that. I think we are going to stay here for a little while. I think this is it's going to ride out for a little while. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like the dynamics of it, of how, like, if we go back to what Daryl was saying, it's like almost like a 30-year fucking cycle where this happened, back in early 90s, and then you saw it was like everything just collapsed. Everything was great for many a fucking years, and then it started to come back up. And of course, that when CGC came into the picture in 2001, that's where shit started to fucking really fuck shit up, thanks to CGC. And so and then that caused that, and then it trickled in the movies, and then blah, 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 blah. Then we got this fucking hype, then the seller, then the pandemic, and then everybody's a motherfucking seller. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody started.
Even like Coffee said down there, I was just thinking, I had the same thought in my head at the same time. Like, what does that mean though? It's a good time to buy. I collect fucking comics. It's always a good time. I'm always buying. Like, always looking. Always buying. What? Like, I just don't. I
would say.
I mean, I don't know what it means. In reference
to that, I would say this. Because I'm always having, we all got books that we're looking at, right? And a lot of the books that we're looking at are high price books. I think that's where that concept comes in.
So if you're hunting key books or you're
right. Yeah. Not regular books, you know what I mean? Because we're always grabbing those. That's every fucking day. You're picking up a fucking $10, $15, $20, $30, $40 book. Yep. That's regular. You know what I mean? So get those fillers in. But as far as those keys, I think that's where that concept would come in. More say like. Yeah. Because if you have, because this happened to me where I'm looking at a book, I've been looking at it for fucking a year, let's say, no lie, Paul, I'll be like, holy shit, like I'll go to look for that book again because I'm like, you know what? Let me go see if I can find it cheaper, and I find it a lot cheaper and just as clean, or if not cleaner, because of how things have changed. So I think that's where that concept comes into play, but overall. No, I think when you're chasing a key, a heavy book, yes. You know what I mean? You got to time that shit. You got to, and it sucks. Sometimes you wait on a book, you're holding it, looking at it, somebody picks it up, you're like, fuck it, lost it, let me go look for another one. And then that one ends up to be what? Cheaper than the one you was already looking at, because the way shit just dropped now, you're like, oh shit, boom, I'm going to take it now. So I think that's where that comes into play. But as far as overall, no, that doesn't work because we're buying books all the fucking time. You know what I mean? Whether they're $5 books or, like I said, a fucking 20, 30.
So it's more like it's a good time to buy like a big book.
A big book, right. If you're looking for big books and big keys, this is the right time to buy. You know what I mean? I think that's where that, would be.
Yeah, thank you. Agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, exactly. A bad time to buy is when books are artificially inflated.
Yeah, oh, no doubt about that.
You know what I mean? Fuck yeah, man. He said my keys are $10 to $20 books, but my picks are Nam, Punisher, Luke Cage. Exactly. You don't want to ask what me and Paul or Nigel is what our big books are.
Yeah. How many times we used to say that? Like, shit, I wish the shit I was looking for was like $20 or $40.
Why couldn't it be $20? Why the shit I want has to be fucking expensive?
My mentality back in the day was to get all the shit I could that was affordable. And
right.
So it's not that I'm chasing keys.
Well, we're not
chasing
all
that's left keys that I need,
Right. And then they turn into keys, and then you're like, fuck. Yeah, now this shit wasn't a key. Now it's a motherfucking key. Now I gotta spend fucking money on this shit.
That's what my wife said to me one day. She's like, why didn't you have this book already? Like from back in the, because I've been collecting like 40 years. She's like, why didn't you have it back in the day? I'm like, because even everything's relative, right? Like in the 90s, if I could have picked up an X-Men 1 for $300, $300 was a lot of fucking money to me back then.
Hell yeah, that shit's a lot of money. Hell fucking
I was 20 years old and broke, coming up with $300 for a comic book wasn't gonna happen.
Eating shit and broke. So no, that's why I'm saying, like, a lot of these books, especially, now, like anything becomes a fucking key. And then it happens a few times where I'm like complaining to Paul, I'm like, fuck. Like this shit was on my list fucking a few months ago. This shit was a fucking $20, $30 book, and now they want fucking $250, $300 for this shit. Like,
oh, how they switch shit up, right? Tales to Astonish. 62 used to be the first appearance of the leader. Now it's 63 for some reason. I don't know what happened.
Exactly. They kind of fucked me up on my Tales to Astonish trying to complete that run of mine. You know what I mean? Now I gotta fucking wait. You know what I mean? I can't pick it up because I can't pull that trigger right now on it. And
you like your books crispy because you could have had that one terrific con, but it just wasn't quite nice enough.
It gotta be fucking, and then that's another thing we always say. Why can't we just like fucking beater books?
Oh man, if I like beaters, man, I have everything.
Fucking reader, and it's like, nah, when pigs fly, man, maybe, but not now. No, that ain't gonna happen this fucking in this century.
It's tough.
Unfortunately. You know, but I mean, at the end of the day, man, I think that, you know, this pretty much when you have this conversation with somebody, I mean, it's pretty telling, you know, where they stand with comics. And you know, us as, you know, we really not a fan of people who just don't really truly appreciate the books, in the sense that, you know, yeah, you could sell comic books, but then you're just out for the dollar. But then you got people who actually appreciate the books, sell the books, you know, and like Coffee and Comics, you know, there's plenty of people who, you know, have stores and sell their books, but these are big time readers, you know, they collect books, you know, and they enjoy the books, you know, then they just trying to help the next guy out to get these books. You know, they're not looking at the customer like a quick buck, you know, a quick flip. You know, they're looking at it like, hey man, let me help this guy out. You know what I mean? Let me help, you know, if I have the opportunity to help you get a run, I'm gonna do that. You know, and I think that's how it, you know, how it was back in the days. Anyway, when you go to your local comic shop back in the days, it was like that. You know, your guy at the shop, he would look you out. He'd be like, hey, bro, I know you collecting this. I put it aside for you. You know, make sure nobody else grab it. You know what I mean? So you could have it and you'd be like, yo, bro, appreciate you, man. Like, thank you. You know, and it's like, that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for the guy like, hey, sorry, buddy, sold it right now. I know it's 5. You know, just give me 80 for it.
I know. Now they get accused of what? Taking the shit right off the rack, right? They'll pull it out of your pool box because it's like,
they'll take
like a
that
new
shit
book that blew up instantly. You know,
Crazy. Terrible.
Exactly.
I see a lot of people commenting, though, right? A lot of people, which is probably true, right? Like a lot of this revolves around the Marvel books. They blew up with the MCU and now they're dropping. So Nigel, as someone that's kind of hunting these DC books, they haven't fluctuated as much, I'm guessing, right? Because they never reached those heights yet.
Yeah, so yeah, that was a good thing that I was able to go ahead and get on, you know, before all this news. I heard this, I guess it was some news today that everybody was posting and stuff about.
Everybody's pulling out their authority books or something,
right? Yeah. So you know, it's all good, but yeah. So I noticed too, you know, that because I've been primarily a Marvel guy growing up, but you know, I always liked DC too, but they were always really expensive. You know what I'm saying? So then you know, in recent years, I'm like, man, I can't be chasing these books, these prices, man. It's just getting out of control. And when I looked at the prices for the Marvel keys and all this, the Marvel in general, anything associated with the MCU and toys and whatever, and you know, and then you look at the DC books that I've been wanting for years, you know, decades. And I'm looking at the price. I'm like, damn, man, this is crazy. You know, so while everybody was looking right, I'm looking left, and I'm stacking up on my DC books now. And now now that's going to run out. I'm going to run out of time here now too, because now that DC is getting attention, all that stuff is it should be, but you know, the assumption is it's going to go up.
I'm not going to lie, because, you know, as y'all know, I collect Wonder Woman for my daughter, and not for me. It's for my daughter. Especially the bondage issues, not for me, even though she's not getting those, but you know, no, but I do collect Wonder Woman, and one of the things I noticed about it that I went back to picking up a few of those, you know, bondage issues. That is, you know, just, you know, because I love the artwork. They're cheap, bro. Like 2 years ago when I was picking them up, these motherfuckers were like $1.50. You know what I'm saying? $200 for now they're like $40, $50. Like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah,
I was like, how all these fucking books just dropped? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. And that's why I was like, you know what? Once again, these are books that were just little fillers. They're not crazy keys, nothing like that. It's
I wonder how like the Black Adam shit's doing, right? Because that had to probably blow up a little bit before the movie.
Yeah,
and now the movie was kind of like lukewarm, so I don't know what the.
I think I mean those books are in the 5 figures. That book is in like the 5 figures now, and
but his first appearance is like a Golden Age book or some shit, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think I don't know all the details of Black Adam, but I think he's had very few appearances in the Golden Age, and then he had another appearance in the Silver Age.
Yeah. But what about like Hawkman? Right, Hawkman was in that movie, I guess. Did like Showcase 34 blow up? I know maybe it's probably not 34. I don't know. My DC knowledge is not always on point. I think Showcase 34 is the Atom, but whatever Hawkman's first Silver Age appearance is.
Yeah, I mean, you blue cover.
Yeah, he's like flying under a bridge or something, I think, or whatever. But
Yeah, so all those books are starting to go up. You see them all, you know, and now that's going to be a whole thing, and that's going to take it's going to have its own run now. That we'll see here for how long. We'll see. We'll see how DC strings together movies and shows and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, so at the end of the day, I'm glad that that's why I'm saying I stuck with my buying strategy as far as expanding my collection. Books that I've always wanted, I've been able to get them. And, you know, I don't follow the FOMO. I mean, I'm going to be real. I got caught with FOMO a few times in my career.
We all have.
Everybody's
had that moment. And we still got to fight that. It's an everyday struggle. That shit don't go away. Like, anybody who ever say, like, I don't get FOMO, like, shut the fuck up. Yes, you do. But it's the discipline to not, you know what I'm saying? Practice the FOMO. You're going to feel FOMO. You just don't fucking do it.
I feel like it's a little different though, right? Because when I get it, it's more like it's probably a book I always wanted,
right, Matt?
But because I want so much shit, you know, it's not always in the forefront of your mind. And then some shit will happen, or you'll see someone post it. You'll be like, "Oh fuck, man, I need that book," you know. And now you're caught, you know. But it's not like pure FOMO. It's like I wanted that book anyway.
You was influenced.
It was exactly. It was like lower on the pecking order. And now, kind of like what Nigel's saying, like you got to stay ahead. So now, like fuck, I'm too late. Now, once there's any kind of like announcements and all that type of shit, which again, I don't know who that's influenced or who that is. I guess us to some degree is what I'm saying, right?
We do it to each other. That's the crazy part. We do it to each other.
And if I wanted a book, like if I didn't have a Moon Knight #1, which is not like an expensive book,
right?
Or I had one, but mine's kind of beat up because I've read it a lot, so I wanted to get an upgrade, and I kind of just lost track of it. And then the Moon Knight TV show came out. If I had gotten like crazy and tried to buy it at that point, it was probably way up, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah, it jumped up.
But now the show was like
something
mediocre, you know. So whatever, it's probably back down the way it should be, like a. Well, I hope. I don't even know. I haven't even looked into it.
I think it's down now a lot.
Like a $50 book, maybe, like high grade.
Yeah,
not slabbed high grade, but like
slabbed high grade. I think was at $1,000-$1,200.
Oh my God,
crazy, yo! I know, right?
God bless whoever bought that shit. God.
Oh God, there's always a sucker. Don't look in the mirror.
Right.
I'm just paying a G for a book from the '80s.
I know, man. Crazy. So you know, but so we'll see. I mean, so I was able to get, like I said, I'm almost finished this run with Flash now. So that's, you know, I think somebody was asking what run am I talking about? I'm talking about
a heavy run, bro.
Yeah, it is, and you know, and you start talking about the appearances in the showcase books, as well as the Flash 105 through 115 or whatever. You know, I'm still figuring that out as far as.
Well, you got to get up to like 120s, right? Isn't 123 the big one?
Yeah. I got the 123. Yeah,
so I might worlds or whatever. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Damn, that's heavy right there. You know, and
that's the shit you don't see a lot. You know, not a lot of people flexing with that.
And my brother, he took the bait.
Yeah, hold out.
So, like a few minutes ago, so I comment, and right under his comment, I put the link. I was like, "What? I know he's gonna hit." I ain't say nothing. I was like, "I'm just gonna fucking bait him in. I'm just gonna put the link right in there, and he's gonna just fuck." What up, so?
Not much, man. How's everybody doing?
So, I love the new angle. What are we doing? I love it.
I love doing here.
Switching it up, brother.
We're on tablet tonight. The wife's downstairs watching TV, so I go.
Just gonna say that. I was like, I know the wife was like, "Take your ass upstairs," because
we're doing all this now.
Oh, wow! All right,
going out tonight. Okay.
See what it is?
Okay.
No TV. There's no.
Son, I gotta step my game up, man, with the fucking LEDs, bro. You got it. Look. You saw Paul's face? You saw it, right? I'm searching. What you gonna pull out, Paul?
No, nothing. I'm just looking at my statues. I'm like, you know what? That would be dope if I had like.
I started darting, and he was just like, "What?" Paul always got to. But you know what, Paul? I'm already ahead of you, Paul. I'm already. I know you're gonna reach for something. Like pop-up books. I love my.
I got that. But I got something you'll be even more jealous of.
Look. Oh, you.
We were just talking about this the other day, man. Yeah. This shit's expensive.
It's expensive right now. I was just like, yo, these motherfuckers expensive, bro. You fucking guy. Look at this guy. What do you got?
This guy got the whole run. Are those all the same books?
Oh,
with it.
Glow in the dark.
Wow.
Yes. Love them shits, yo. Every time I see one, man, you gotta grab one. Love them.
I don't know if I need to grab that many. I mean,
yeah, you're a little fucking crazy there, so that's probably why I couldn't find one the other day, because it's right there.
So we've been speculating since the 90s. That's what it is.
What up, guy? Salute, brother.
No, for real though. I wanted to throw some comments out there about why I think the prices are dropping. I think a lot of it, like I was saying in the comments, I hear people talking, they're losing interest in the movies. They're not like they're done with them. They're not as excited as they were. And I think with that lack of interest, and then the sheer quality of it.
What do you got there?
I want to show some books and shit. I'm going to show some stuff too.
It's dope, man.
There you go. He jumped off the camera real quick. Yeah, hold on.
I got 4 editions. I got them. No, I think people are losing interest in the movie. I think
you know what, so now that you mentioned that I know where you're going with this, and it makes sense. It makes sense.
I think everybody knows where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Like the speculator market is waning because of it. I think investors, there's a handful of people that haven't been able to keep up with that Instagram hype and just try to be a part of the beast and look what I got, and they just can't keep up. Bills happen and you just can't be cool anymore. And I think people are selling out because of that.
Right.
I don't think that the massive reason, but I think I've noticed. I had also mentioned I noticed collections coming into my local comic shop. I'm noticing less customers, which makes me sad in one degree, but it's leaving it back open to people like us, people who are here for the comic books, not for the hype, not for the movies. No, just we're here for the hobby.
Right.
And it has its benefits, it has its drawbacks. Necessary evil, but it's been very unhealthy for the hobby to see a book go from $50 to $500 in the matter of a week. Yeah. People like you and I, we get priced out.
Right.
Look, I got so much money I can budget for comic books. I'm a normal guy. Right. I can't afford to play Instagram famous and check out
check, bro. We live check your check, brother.
No, let me show you all my keys. I got all this shit. I got limited resources. So with that, I can only spend so much money on comics. All these people price me out of certain books. I was looking for Fatal Attractions this weekend because Daryl posted it. Yes, you're an influencer, Daryl. You're officially
yeah. I'm glad I got Fatal Attraction last year.
I don't know. I think I like Daryl because he just posts stuff because he's like, hey, it's a good.
Just post it because he likes it, he enjoys it. What up, Justin?
How's it going, Justin?
What's up, Justin?
When he recommends it, it's just because it's a good story. That's it.
Right.
Great influence.
Right, and that's what makes this post so great.
Yeah, I knew all about Wolverine getting his skeleton ripped out as a kid. I remember everybody's mind was blown about that. So I wanted to finally read it. I had 4 of the issues. I needed 2 more. Yes.
Yep. Exactly. And I saw Justin also. I saw he updated his handle. He was like Justin, reader of comics. Like that whole concept of just reading your fucking comics. It's like it needs to be emphasized even more. Like I feel like everybody needs to put that shit in their fucking handle. Like read your fucking comic book, bro. Like this is why we got into this shit.
Yeah, if Justin starts doing like a top 10 list, I'm just gonna fall out. We just hot 10 list.
Yeah, man. I definitely agree. 1000%. I think that the movies definitely, the fact that they're duds right now, like make people feel like, like how can I sell this book when the movie is shitty. You know what I mean? Because now it revolves around the movie, even though everybody here agrees that's bullshit. These books have nothing to do with the fucking movie, but because the going consensus follows that trend, they're like, hey, these movies are not really banking, so these books are not really hot anymore. And I think like that has a lot to do with it, of course, as far as like, you know, adding that to the equation. I think definitely the movies, the economics, the way we at right now, the way you know, all of that has a play on it. Like you said, people are like, yo, like us, we live check to check. You know what I mean? And you know, and unfortunately, you know, not everybody, you know, could be like these, you know, IG comic influencers, you know, that are fucking, you know.
Well, JD said that before, you know, which was interesting. He was talking about these last few years. Certain people, you know, especially if you were laid off, like COVID related, you were getting what, an extra $600 a week on top of whatever you were collecting. That's $2,400 a month. I could buy a nice book with that. You know what I mean? Like, thankfully, I never got laid off. I've been working straight through and all that. But so I'm not making light of people who lost their jobs. But for a while there, you motherfuckers were cleaning up with that extra $600 a week. Just keep it real. You were. I mean, that's.
Hell yeah.
So don't come to me now if you broke, man. You guys should have been stacking. Because
those books on your top 10 list were definitely not for investment. They were definitely for reading.
Well, yeah, you know what I meant, Justin. I'm talking the hot book of the week.
You know, Justin's gonna clap back.
Dope.
You know, don't speak on Justin, son. He gonna clap back. You think you're coming at him? You know what I'm saying? He gonna shots fired, son. You know, but no, man. I really, you know, I think that right now, what you got? So,
too much light is what I got.
Yeah. There you go. Hell Rider. Oh, damn.
Minty too.
Wow, I haven't seen those in a minute.
Those are magazines?
Yeah. I haven't seen those in a minute.
I think just you and Scheme are the only ones I ever seen post that.
Right? I ain't seen those shit. I think I seen one in the comic, bro. I have not seen one in the comic. But I know this guy right here, Paul, was like, post. What you got, Paul? What do you got, Paul?
Man, it's just a common. It's not a big deal.
Common. You know, it's funny because like I know, like
crispy though, but I mean,
I was working on like my Galaxy Rangers, you know, and I knew Paul, you know, and I was just like, I'm gonna like this one of the books. I got one on the wall right here. Yeah, right there.
Two, by the way, Mr. Doubles, two.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you don't got one. You know what I'm saying? So.
A lot of books I don't have, man. I definitely don't have whatever this shit stove is pulling out.
Oh,
that's cool.
It's dope. Yeah,
what the fuck was the card, yo? You saw my post, right?
What's that?
You saw my comment, right? What this guy figures and statues wasn't enough for you, right?
Listen, man, I'm trying to pay respect. Daryl tags me up with that trading card Tuesday every week, and I'm never home in time to get a good picture.
Bro, Daryl got to him because Daryl be putting out the fresh fucking Marvel cards, and then this guy over here wants to like post Marvel cards with the character. Now he want to put statues.
We got some cards around too. No, it could happen.
Always trying to show out, bro. Always trying to show out.
We got the GOAT's rookie card. You know, I mean, we
there you go.
Different things laying around.
You know what? So I was like, let me see if I got any cards. I was like, let me see.
Let me see if I have any cards. Listen to this guy. Let me see if I have any cards. All right.
Let me see.
Got like
this guy over here always want to flex on me, bro. Let me see if I have any cards.
Yeah, you might have a couple. I don't know.
Cards. Let's go through the fucking hollows.
Of course, look how he leads off with all the prisms and shiny shit.
Yeah. Y'all want, what is this? Y'all want 91? What y'all want? Y'all want 92? Y'all want 92? What's 92?
Listen, man, I'll be honest with you. All I got is this 90 set. That's it.
Let's go to 92. You want to do 90? Let's go to 93. Let's go to 93. You want to go 93?
Oh, let that go through.
I don't have cards.
Let's go 94. Let's go 94. You want to go 94?
94, I was 22, man. I was, I had some different interests in life. 94, I wasn't necessarily
94. You was getting pussy, and I was still trying to get pussy.
Basically, I mean,
so I was still collecting these motherfucking cars. All right, God damn it!
I missed the card boom, man. I was in that,
right? The fuck.
In the words of Jules from Pulp Fiction, I was in a transitional phase, so I wasn't really fucking with cars that much.
But shout out to everybody who's hanging out with us today, man. Shout out. we always like to bust each other's balls. You know what I mean? We always like to show out.
I mean, I know Stove must have every Ghost Rider card ever made, right?
Oh hell yeah!
No, they've come out with a couple recently. I kind of bowed out of that. They like 1 in 12 nonsense, $900. No.
Are there any Ghost Rider variant covers? Nah, that ain't gonna happen, Daryl. you got some influential reach.
You gotta start putting up Pop Marvel and shit. What the fuck?
Pops are just. I'll be honest, full disclosure, I have some Wolverine ones, but that's it. I wouldn't say I collect them.
You called it, Daryl. Well,
I'll never post that shit. I probably did back in the day.
Oh, he got some right there. What you got?
Someone's gonna call my bluff and scroll back like 4 years.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie. Hold on. Full disclosure, right? Full disclosure.
So you see how Nigel keeps it pure, right? He ain't got none of this fucking
full disclosure right here.
He ain't got none of this fluff on the side.
I had to get the Morbius zombie.
Yeah, you had to get Morbius.
I had to.
That's a must.
You know what I'm saying? So full disclosure, we on bust balls. Let's bust balls honest.
Keep it honest.
Bust balls.
Now, here's the deal. You know, would I rather get pops or dope statues like this? You know
We
what I mean? So, I mean, that's how we trying to keep it.
Anyone tuning in, I know at the end, the last 10 minutes of the show, we bust balls and enjoy ourselves. We don't take it so serious these last 10 minutes. This guy
looks like a museum. So goddamn,
no, like some exclusive fucking bro.
Yo, I think this is how big I am. Next to it.
Holy shit.
Let's talk about how big the price was for that. That shit's expensive, isn't it?
It was. That's my hand.
Like a G? Wasn't that thing like $1,000 or no?
No, it started off like I think it was $1,800.
Oh.
Yeah, they could go for $4,000 now.
Okay, Mr. Check the Check.
Yeah, I know. Right? You check the check.
Well, I paid for it.
You know, that was last year's.
Those are some big checks to checks, I guess.
Right.
He got that big joint from like Publishers Clearinghouse. You know, that big check they used to bring you.
That's that tax return. Right.
No, I'm happy. I just like to make the statement. I'm happy about what's going on with prices declining, so we can get back to our regular thing, getting back to collecting comics, talking about comics,
and reading.
You know, reading, yes.
Reading. Look, it's Julian action. I love Julian. Julian's always asking questions. I love that. He's always intuitive. Any stories on a lot of comics you guys wanted to buy and had to hold off, not to give into FOMO, brother? That's
no, not me.
Not really, like in that sense, you know, because there's nothing modern, you know what I mean, that'll get me to get FOMO. Nothing that's gonna say, hey, this, you know, because most likely we kind of got the shit. But I think that the FOMO comes in not really on I think like let's say like with me, you know, it would be like with Leader, you know, the first Leader. I don't got Leader and I'm trying to complete that, you know, Tales to Astonish. And the Leader is just one of the few books that is missing from my thing. But that was a book that I was like, you know what? I'm going to just sit on. You know, yeah, when they mentioned the Leader, instantly I was like, I got to fucking get this book.
What is the FOMO with the Leader? Like, what was he? Was he on She-Hulk, like some weird version of
I love the Leader because, you know, I'm a big Hulk guy. So to me,
no
the Leader is a big character to have in my collection. So to have the number one is what I want. But at the time that I was ready to invest in it with my Tales to Astonish run, that's when the whole thing started with Leader and they started promoting it, that he was coming out, whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'm not buying this book. I'm not even going to look at this fucking book right now. You know, and that was one of the books that I was just like, nah, I'm not going to fall into, let me chase this, get it out. No, I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm not paying $500 for this book. You know what I mean? At a high grade, I should be paying like $200 for this. High grade. You know what I mean? And you know how we do. So it's like, my shit got to be crispy. Right? Crispy, I will accept $250, but not no $500 fucking dollars.
I think I'm the only one out of out of all of us that reads current books with any kind of regularity.
Right.
And
Yeah. I don't read current.
I see a lot of the FOMO happens around the newer books. You know, a new book hits, you know, oh my God, it's $40 out the gate. I'm fortunate enough to have.
You've been reading Punisher?
One title, Paul. You're reading one title.
Well, hold up.
No, he's reading.
Let's keep it honest.
Wolverine.
I read a couple books a month. Same 2 books I've been reading since like the mid 80s. Well, when they came out in the later 80s.
That's the 2 worst writers on shelves currently.
Too much Sylvain.
No, but I'm a Wolverine fan. I'm gonna buy this shit till I croak, whether it's garbage or not. I just can't help it.
My problem is that every book that I post, I read it. Like, it's not a problem, but like when I'm gonna post it, like, I have to go through it.
And I got this because of you.
Oh, nice.
That is dope, though, right?
It's one of the worst Ghost Rider stories ever written.
Probably is. I haven't even opened it out of the bag yet, to be honest.
Exactly.
It's that bad, huh?
Good stories.
Don't
where I see a lot of people have trouble is they weren't paying attention to books. They weren't doing the previews order, or they got a shady shop. Like you guys were talking about earlier with comic shops pulling your book out of your pull box. You know, I didn't get it. You know, no, I know you got it. Thankfully, I've got a good shop where my books are always there. And, you know, when some of those Thor issues hit and, oh my God, I don't know, Black Winter or whatever, that story sucked. And I find a lot of times with stories like that, I was already getting the book. If I didn't get the book, I didn't care. Like, whatever. Because I find 9 out of 10 times that book that hit that I did get,
right,
the story was crap anyways. It wasn't one of those, you know, it wasn't, you know, Simonson's Thor. This is Donny Cates Thor.
I mean, you're reaching for the pinnacle now. I mean, it's tough to reach them heights.
It is, though. But, like, you know, Claremont's X-Men, you know, like, there's reasons these books are valuable. It's what's inside. There's reasons they're making movies off these stories.
The ironic part is, really, Claremont X-Men, there's really very few books in his run that are actually worth any bread. If you really break it down, I mean, he wrote the book for 17 years. You could pull out like a handful of books that have like real value. I'm not talking like $50, but you could buy any Byrne Claremont X-Men, other than maybe like 109 and 120.
You got a lot of $20 books. You know?
Yeah, they're cheap. Like you could put that run together relatively cheap. I'm not talking like 9/8 slabs and shit. I'm just talking high grade raw books.
High grade raw books, guys.
You could put that, like, they're not worth money. Like, you know, it's sad because it's great comics. It should be worth money.
Think about that though. Every book is $10, $15, $20.
It's not just only high print runs, because we got books that have high print runs that are like fucking, you know, that blow up too. It's not just that.
Well, anybody who pays a lot of money for a Spawn 1, I mean, I don't understand that shit.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, how many they made? 6 million? What the fuck?
I don't know, it was a couple million. And you know, by that point, everybody put that shit right in a Mylar, like it was never beat up. You don't ever see a beat up Spawn 1. You know, everybody kept it crispy, like the X-Men 1 from the 90s.
Dude, I met a guy who had a long box completely full with Spawn #1.
Wow.
A whole long box, bro. And he swore. He was like, yo, I'm gonna retire. He's like, yo, I'm gonna fucking buy a house. You know what I'm saying? And homeboy at the shop was like, at the shop. He brought it into the shop. And the shop, I was my, you know, local shop. He was like, yo, I'll give you 50 cents for each book.
Damn.
He was like 50 cents, looking at, you know what, how many in the long box? 300, you know, maybe if that, you know what I'm saying? So you know, $150.
to throw away.
I mean, the only way you can maximize that, like if you sent them all into CGC, you got a bunch of 9.8s, and these suckers pay you like a few $100.
Right, and then you hustle that for like the next fucking 20 years.
Yeah, but
That's the kind of book. If you send in a bunch to get graded,
for the next 30 years,
they don't come back 9.8. You're fucked, basically.
Yeah.
Like, if it comes back 9.4, you're losing. Like, it's, you know.
It's crazy.
The market for them now. You just put 300 more copies onto the market.
Right.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That census shit. Like, how many Spawn ones are graded? Like 15,000?
Exactly. Yeah. By the way, so Love the Hook, man, brought me back to fucking my high school. Yo, definitely, guys, I appreciate you. We're about 5 minutes over the hour. Of course, I know people got to do their thing. They got to run out of here, but I am excited. I wish 17 people hanging out with us, man. That's dope. They were just sitting with us the whole time. You know, nobody jumped ship. You know, I appreciate you guys. Nigel, I appreciate you jumping in. This is a topic that you really wanted to talk about. So you already know, my brother, man. Come on now.
Dude is a very astute observer of the market, by the way. So if you got any questions, hit him up. I'm sure
hit him up, man. It's Nigel, he be sending us sentences, and I'm like, yo, I don't even know what I'm looking at. I'm just like, yo, bro, I appreciate you.
He's like in Beautiful Mind when he's looking at the thing and all the numbers and shit are like circulating.
I don't even know what I'm just like, yo, is it a good deal? That's all I want to know. I'm getting a good deal. Right. You know what I'm saying?
We're a little more off the cuff with our purchases. Nigel's, he's a little more strategic.
Hell yeah. Nigel's he's a fucking sniper when it comes to these comic books. You know what I mean?
Appreciate you. Let me know. I love grading comic books.
Hell yeah. Hit him up. And real quick, man, for those of you who are still hanging out with us, yo, go over to No Good Comic at like around what? At 9 o'clock, I think his show starts. You know what I'm saying? Omni Comic. Go hit these Omni X-Men. Go hit them up because I'm about to be in there and I'm gonna start busting some balls. I haven't been on this show in a minute. I feel horrible, so I need to get in there and start walking around and making some noise. You know what I mean? And I hope you guys go there, make some noise, and hang out with these guys at 9 o'clock. You know, go to No Good Comics channel and hang out with them and with John Comics for Kids. And yeah, man, I had a great time, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Thank you to the chat. Appreciate the chat, man. As always, man, you guys are amazing. Yeah. Stay fresh. Stay in these books. And y'all already know how we do, man. I'll catch you next week and keep it real. Don't front for the gram and buy them motherfucking books.